Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you world's most peaceful top 10 countries, for year 2020 and 2021. Institute for Economics and Peace has developed Global Peace Index 2020, which ranks 163 independent states and territories according to their level of peacefulness. Let's begin today's video. Number 10. Switzerland. Switzerland is back in the top 10 of the most peaceful nations after 2 years on the sidelines. While it is indeed a place with an exceptionally high degree of safety and security in society and a low level of domestic or international conflict, its surprisingly elevated level of militarization, the total army personnel is approximately 240,000 out of a population of a little more than 8 million, keeps this nation from the scoring nearer the very top. Switzerland, together with other well-ranked countries, featured amongst the 10 world's highest weapons exporters per capita in the last 5 years. Switzerland remains a stable and prosperous country where linguistic and religious diversity is embraced. In third place in the United Nations Happiness Report, it also ranks above the average among OECD nations when it comes to subjective well-being, income, health and education and environmental quality. Number 9. Japan. Maintaining the 9th spot in the Global Peace Index, Japan is 3 times more densely populated, yet it still manages to rank highly for both peace and quality of life. Theft and other felonies, the National Police Agency notes, are so passé too. Over the past few years, the number of recorded crimes continued to decrease to historically low levels, a trend also reflected in the low incarceration rate, which in Japan has followed a downward trajectory starting from the 1950s. However, when it comes to neighboring countries' relations, Japan has shaky relationships with China and especially North Korea are often mentioned by the Japanese as reasons of concerns. Japan's peace constitution, put in place following the Second World War to prohibit the resurrection of aggressive militarism, was reinterpreted in 2014 to enable collective self-defense, which preceded a restructuring and build-up of the country's military capabilities. Number 8. Czech Republic. Improved to 8th spot from last year, over the last decade the Czech Republic has shown a sustained improvement in a great number of areas ranging from political stability to personal security and international relations. According to the OECD, it also performs well in many measures of well-being, ranking above average in jobs and earnings, work-life balance and education and skills. Not only have 94% of adults aged 25-64 have completed upper secondary education, well above the average rate of 78% and the highest among the 34 industrialized member countries of OECD. But this small nation of 10.6 million can boast the lowest unemployment rate in the European Union at 2%, below what economists consider a natural level. Number 7. Singapore. Singapore has become more peaceful. It advanced 13 places up from 21st place in 2018 and gained 1 more position in 2019, which has retained this year. What prompted Singapore to this remarkable jump? Singapore scored highly in the aspects of societal safety and security and low levels of domestic and international conflict. Holding it back from the very top spots of the ranking is, similarly to Switzerland, the level of militarization, with red marks when it comes to armed services personnel, police forces and weapons import expenditure. The reason? Singapore depends on seaborne trade for its prosperity, so having the resources to ensure the smooth passage of vessels through the Strait of Malacca, the narrow stretch of water that serves as a gateway between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, is crucial. Number 6. Canada. Canada is the 6th safest out of 163 nations, a title it held also over the past 2 years. Getting good marks when it comes to factors related to internal conflicts, levels of crime and political stability, the world's 2nd largest country by landmass while relatively small in terms of population with just 37 million residents, Canada punches above its weight in economic terms. As a top trading nation, it is also one of the richest in the world. Add to the mix excellent job opportunities, good health facilities and effective governance and you will have one of the best countries to live in. Meanwhile, Please do subscribe the channel and press bell icon. Number 5. Denmark. Denmark held the number 2 spot for 5 years in a row from 2011 to 2016, dropping subsequently to number 5 in 2017, where it remained ever since. A safe country to travel and live in, it is characterized by low levels of crime, a high degree of political stability, freedom of the press and respect for human rights. It also boasts a high level of income equality and is frequently ranked as one of the happiest nations in the world. The recent drop in the peace ranking is due to a deterioration in some of its militarization indicators. In 2017, to counter the threat Russia's increasing military activity in Eastern and Northern Europe, Denmark reached a landmark cross-party political deal to increase its defense budget by 20%, on course to match its Nordic neighbors Sweden's and Norway's expenditure levels. Number 4. Austria. Since the end of the Cold War, this small landlocked country of just 8.7 million moved from its peripheral position at the borderline between East and West closer to the center of a larger Europe. As a young member of the EU and outside of NATO, Austria prided itself into trying to get along with rival political blocs and embracing new forms of cooperation with its neighbors. However, while Austria performs well in many measures of well-being such as income, jobs and housing, social tensions have been growing in recent years fueled by anti-migrant campaigns of the popular right-wing Freedom Party, which until May 2019 was also in a coalition government with the center-right People's Party of Chancellor Sebastian Kurz. More recently, the Black Lives Matter movement brought an even stronger focus on the systemic racism present in the Austrian political and social life, with thousands of citizens taking to the streets to protest in June. Number 3. Portugal. Portugal marches to the best of its own drum when it comes to peace and safety. While over the past few years a majority of European countries have deteriorated or have shown very minor improvements, this nation of about 10 million people has emerged as one of the biggest climbers, moving from the 18th position in 2014 to the 3rd in 2017 and during these last 2 years. Ranking above the industrialized nation's average in terms housing, work-life balance, personal security and environmental quality, Portugal is also rated as one of the top 3 favorite expat destinations for the overall quality of the lifestyle experience. Even better, there is no need to break the bank to enjoy the Portuguese way of living. The Republic remains one of the most affordable destinations on the continent. Number 2. New Zealand. Holding on to the second spot in the index since 2017, over the past 10 years New Zealand has never slipped below 4th place in the Global Peace Index. Scoring almost perfect marks in the domains of domestic and international conflict, militarization and societal safety, is widely considered a wonderful country to live in. At around the same size as the United Kingdom but with a population of less than 4.9 million people, New Zealand ranks at the top in health status and above the average among OECD members when it comes to education, jobs and earnings. All this, however, comes at a cost. The shortage of affordable housing is increasingly making it difficult for people with low incomes to buy homes, with the gap between rich and poor considered the top economic issue facing New Zealand by 20% of its citizens. Number 1. Iceland. Icelanders can sleep well at night because they live in the most peaceful country in the world. No news is good news when it comes to tranquil Iceland. It is the 10th year in a row that it retains the number 1 spot. With no standing army, navy or air force and the smallest population of any NATO member state, about 365,000 people, Iceland also enjoys record low crime rates, an enviable education and welfare system and ranks among the best nations in terms of jobs and earnings and subjective sense of well-being. Iceland has also managed the impossible with 97% of the citizens describing themselves as middle and working class. Tension between economic classes is often described as non-existent. As for COVID-19, in just 2 months since the first case was recorded, the country had virtually eradicated the virus, keeping the cases well under 2,000 and the number of deaths at just 10. Is it really any wonder that Iceland is also one of the happiest countries in the world? Alright, these were our top 10 most peaceful countries in the world for year 2020 and 2021. Thanks for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe, and press bell icon to get notification of newly uploaded video.